Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to Spell Disc. It's a spell crafting roguelike with some really interesting ideas behind it. It came out back in March, but I've just been, well, I missed the release date, and then I've just been trying to find a good time to put it out, and so, I don't know, Christmas, why not? So it's got two modes, a regular roguelike mode, and a bullet heaven mode, which I actually really like. Boiling beam, shoot a fire laser. Okay, let's try this. Maybe? What's the other one? Lightning comb. Shoot 4 sweeping lightnings. Sounds interesting, but I don't know. Boiling beam. Give it a shot. See what happens. So that's what it looks like. We can also buff the difficulty a little bit. Oh, but I gotta win first. Okay, so let's dive into this. Now you might notice I'm just listening to some regular post rock. It's my own music from Epidemic. I tried listening to the game music, and I don't know. I've got a headache and I'm tired, and so I just needed something familiar. It was kind of just like generic, like, game fantasy background music, and sometimes I need something else. I just also really like post-rock, I don't know. Let's see, what do we have? Every half second, shoot a staggering missile, increase elemental affliction, or new spell Fire Lance, 90 mana, shoot a fast fire projectile. Sounds good. So the way the game works is this spell generates automatically, every 40 mana, so every 2.5 seconds, I will generate enough mana to fire a boiling beam. This will not fire unless it has a disc associated with it. So currently I'm just going to only be firing that boiling beam. And so in the meantime, I have to just survive. But now, generates 200% of stun power dealt to enemies as mana. I don't actually know if we do stun, so I don't know if that's good. We do have a regular boiling beam, but it's not that great, or lightning ball that explodes when touched by an enemy. Or I could reroll and see what I can get. So one thing to note is that there is randomized upgrades. So actually, here's the thing. Why don't we swap them and see what happens? Okay, so let's see what the just regular fire blast is. So kind of same deal, about the same amount of damage. But yeah, so we want to pay attention to upgrade rarities when we level up, because some of them make a difference. So for example, green is, I think, tier 2. It goes white, green, blue, purple, gold, probably. Pierce type and continuous type are considered the same types. Dash without dash stamina, but delayed between dashes. I don't know, pierce type and continuous being the same thing. Because we've currently got 2 pierce, but this way I can also mix in some continuous and see what that gives me. That's mostly for build crafting, but considering none of my other options were good, sure. I'm curious to see where this goes exactly. But yeah, we want to just get all the enemies to line up properly. So dashing flame, 4 fire dashing projections, but it's slash. We have pain brand, increased damage against fire status enemies. And then blunt type shockwave every... Now, let's go for the pain brand. It's unfortunately completely worthless to us as we need another disc before I can do anything, but... Oh no, I guess it does a little bit. Subsequent hits from my fire lance are going to do more damage. Or, no, does it just do more damage? Oh, maybe I misinterpreted how that worked. I'm not going to complain. Okay. So we got a couple. Generate 110 mana when ending a dash, 15 mana when hitting enemies with blunt type moves, or 12 mana when critting. My crit chance is abysmal, but it's better than nothing, and who knows, maybe I can actually get my crit up high. Namely, we've got a really nice pierce move, so I'm not that worried. I just have to kite enemies well. And we're good to go. Okay, decreased mana cost. I mean, that's actually not terrible, considering everything. I could go for the reroll. So let's swap those. Okay. I guess the damage is maybe a little bit worse. Oh, but the boiling beam has a little bit more of a lateral AoE to it, or specifically centered around my character. Shoot fire and cold mix projectile. That's good. However, this does 40% increased damage as a rarity upgrade. The fire and cold mix is kind of interesting, but I think we kind of want to go for a fire pierce continuous and see what I can do with those. Biting fangs that temporarily reduce enemy defense. 30 max health, increase more with each rooster. I'm gonna re-roll these. %30 increased crit chance on the Fire Lance actually was not terrible. Because that means this 1 in 3 shots will generate mana for that other spell. So that is kind of good. I'd call it a test run, but I actually broke the game. I did a run before this one, and I had like a really strong ice stacking build that very much just was like full no mercy the whole way through. And I was like, man, this game's easy. Why are the basic enemy spawns like so well, not so basic, but let's see. Do I want to do mana to another random disc on trigger? It seems really basic. I guess I'll go for the boiling beam upgrade. Oh, so it actually triggered on the origin point. That's interesting. So the enemy that I hit with it was where it triggered. When fire status triggers, reduce lightning and cold resistance. Blunt, icicles, none of these. Continuous and slash are the same. 80 mana per distance traveled by player movement. Okay, we're definitely grabbing the boot disc because we are desperate. Because I currently only have 1 spell and can't do much. Yeah, this is much better. So we actually might want to invest hard into my movement speed. Because yeah, now I have 2 spells to work with, and 1 actually triggers kind of often. I'm hoping to get a good fire trigger here. Fire that sticks to targets. Flame presence. Shield when player dashes. I don't know, let's grab flame presence and see what happens. Ow. Okay, Flame Jaw, increased mana production. $40% increased mana production's tempting. Yeah, we'll go for it, even if it's not amazing. That's actually pretty bad. I mean, it's not terrible, especially if I crit more often. What I need are multi-hit things that can crit a lot. I guess we get a bunch of crits from piercing, though, so maybe it's not as terrible as I think it is. See, this is what I want. 45% increased movement or mana generation, so 116 mana per, like per distance traveled or something to that extent. So we can really cruise. Okay, do I have any explosions? No. 10 mana per distance enemy minion traveled by knockback. Let's just go for the Fire Lance. So that just reduces its mana cost. Should be fine. Because yeah, the lower my mana cost, the more these are going to fire. And the faster I generate them. We might also want to look a little bit into movement speed. I don't know how... Oh, that was not a good thing. Supposed to dummy when the player dashes. Increased mana. Nah, let's work on this one. 152 mana. If I can just have like a consistent flamethrower effect, that's going to be extremely effective. Yeah, I think those purple things are enemy attacks. Oh, it's probably spores from the boss. Okay, 5 seconds. Increase different elemental damage. Generate 10 mana per second for each base Pierce type in my inventory. And since Pierce and Continuous are the exact same, Flame Presence is going to count. So I'm going to swap these. So admittedly, that's only 30 mana per second, but that's still 30 mana per second on a spell that I was not really able to use earlier. Okay, now we're starting to cook. Okay, generate mana when hitting with lightning type. Half a shield when casting weapon spell. Ice zone on the floor. I don't think we want any of those. Blazing stabs. Create blazing knife that stabs one enemy multiple times. I mean, it is pierce. Yeah, let's go wide for a little while since that one disc charges based on how many pierce spells I have. So increased duration on Flame Presence. Disc mana generation, weapon spell mana generation for each missing health point. No, let's go for the Flame Presence, increased duration. Oh, so it's those things. They're kind of like a fire node that moves around. I was actually having trouble figuring out what that spell was doing earlier. But the increased duration has made it a lot more apparent. So decrease mana cost or Pierce item disc upgrade 35 mana to a random disc on trigger. That's really good. Obviously, it doesn't trigger as fast as the boots, which is a bit of a shame. If I could get it so the boots also provide mana to something else, that'd be nutty. But it's still good. Now, the one thing I could also consider is really leaning hard into the, maybe. Physical explosion, blazing stabs. I could actually go for Fire Lance, give it even more crit, rather than blazing stabs more damage. Yeah, I think I'm going to. Purely from the perspective of blazing... At least this way I can crit a lot more. A fair bit more. And I might actually be able to do stuff with that. Ideally, if we can get crit on a couple of my spells, that one crit trigger might actually be really good. Ooh. Flame Presence, 45% increased damage. Yep. Going for that. I like the fact that I can decide if I want to go tall or wide on this. I don't know if there's an upper limit on some of these spells. But too many Bullet Heavens, I do feel like aren't modular enough in terms of their build crafting. That is like, this is levels 1 through 5 or something like that, and it's kind of boring. Whereas this one, like, clearly, yes, I'm leveling up the ability, but I'm mostly, that's just to denote how many levels I've put into it. Attack speed increases movement speed. And increased movement speed increases attack speed. Tempting. Or, new artifact, increased crit chance. Hell yeah, let's go. Okay, so now I'm going to be stabbing the snap out of things. Especially if I can get blazing stabs to also crit harder. Oh, there's a boss up here. I should probably go say hi to it. But yeah, so this clearly has like a huge amount of variability on how you develop your build on, like, you know, big AoEs or spells or like, do you want 1 or 2 spells that trigger a lot and do a ton of damage? Do you want a bunch of different spells that are triggering constantly and, oh gosh, let's go. Do I want to just keep this as is? Probably. Because, yeah, that's got one of the cheapest mana triggers. If I can get that to have, you know... Oh, because it's a continuous hit, too. If I could specifically get the Blazing Stabs to crit more often, you know, if it has a 100% chance to crit, as unlikely as that would be, it might actually be able to self-sustain. Let's see. Decreased mana production. Or increased mana production. Sure. I think that's just 13.5 per second for each base Pierce type item in my inventory. Which is still pretty good. I think the only thing I wish I could do is actually change what some of my abilities aim at. Like if I could get the daggers to specifically shoot at the highest health enemy, that'd be actually insanely good. Maybe that is a thing. Laser beam of all elements, and it is a pierce. New disc, generate 25% of weapon spells. I don't think I have that. All right, let's go for the laser. Can't use it at the moment. I mean, I could swap it out, but my other existent spells are a little bit, I don't want to say better. Better's not the right word. Yeah, we definitely need that increased movement speed. As I'm having some problems here. I'm actually, yeah, I'm getting drubbed a little. I think it's because we don't have any good AoEs and this boss needs to die. Thank you. Okay, 24 mana to a random other disc on trigger. Tempting, sure. Because that should be triggering often. Increased mana gain for discs. Okay, the potions do go away over time. But it's not that dire. And we're back up to full health. Perfect. I'm surprised we haven't had any... Okay, here we go. I want that extra crit chance. However, 65 mana when any element status effect is triggered, which now makes the stupid laser... Oh my god. Alright. I hope none of you guys have epilepsy. This might actually be a serious problem for some people. I don't know. I feel really bad. There's almost, like, I guess I can put an epilepsy warning on things. I wish actually Steam would let me, or not Steam, YouTube would let me just have that. As like a, just like a toggle. Okay, so what's happening here is that, that one triggers whenever I have an elemental status effect. All of my abilities do fire baseline, but the elemental laser triggers all 3 elemental types. Thing is, let's see. I could increase that damage by, no. We're just going all in on stupid elemental laser. There's literally no better option here. But yeah, so the elemental laser potentially triggers itself off of enemies, which is why you can see like an origin point then split into like 3 or 4 beams. 40% increased mana production. Let's go. I'm now just degossing my own brain, just looking at the bright, sparkly shinies. But hey, I ain't complaining. %50 increased crit chance on that one. Nice. Not that I'm actually using it that much, but... And yeah, those beams are just... I don't want to say they're upsetting because I love them, but... Let's see, mana to random disc on trigger. If only I could get those upgrades on the rainbow disc trigger. Then we'd be in business and then some. Oh man, I was originally kind of waffly. Ooh. Mana to a random disc on trigger, mana to a random disc on trigger. Probably boots. Because the boots are triggering often. So's the crit, actually. It's really hard to tell which of these would have been more practical. Still don't know what the red ring behind my spells means. I'm assuming it's like kind of an exhaustion effect. It's the one that is the most useful, but putting it on anyway. Just have my entire dang setup just trigger itself a billion times. Go nuts. I feel like I'm watching a Gundam anime. Like, after the Gundams have gotten, like, their final upgrade and they're just shooting lasers and everything is exploding. Cascading... No. Refund 20% of cost of Link's spell. We want that to specifically be able to trigger itself as much as possible. And pretty much we want to just focus on leveling the banger elemental laser as much as we possibly can. Increase crit chance. Increase crit damage, though. Yeah, the extra crit chance would have been nice. But now my crits are spooky. Ow. I mean, they already were spooky, but now they're extra spooky. Problem is, there's a lot of just random bad damage being chucked around my direction. And I'm not entirely clear on what's hitting me. There's a lot going on, which I actually kind of love. Chance of duplicating linked spell. Like, the boiling beam would be tempting, but no. That's increased damage, increased slash damage, random elemental claws on enemies. I mean, actually, constructs claws, great. Generate 260% of damage dealt over enemies/minions' remaining health as mana when it dies. I think I'm actually going to snag that. That seems kind of good. I don't know how healthy these minions are, but that might make it so killing enemies triggers more spells, and since I'm killing a lot, that should trigger a lot? I don't know. I gotta take a look at this. Oh, those are separate. Oh no. I mean, mostly oh yes, but... oh boy. I'd like a magnet, please. Increased elemental affliction. Oh no. Considering it triggers itself. If there's any kind of meta progression, I'm definitely investing in movement speed more than anything else. Movement speed and rarity. Those are the two like big clinchers. Yeah, if we find any artifacts at this point, I am going for it. This would be interesting, but I don't know how fast it triggers yet. I think I'm just going to go for the critical disc. We could potentially swap these two. But I think I just need another spell. So one thing I'm actually really appreciative of for this game, I've said this in other videos, there's the magnet. I've said this in many other videos, but one thing that's... Sweeping lightnings, no. That was not enough to level up. One thing a lot of bullet heavens get wrong, potentially, or the thing that makes a bullet heaven feel good, is leveling at least twice per minute. I've played a couple bullet heavens recently where blazing stabs, decreased mana cost, oh boy. I've played a couple bullet heavens recently where you only level up maybe once every minute, maybe less. And it feels awful. Like you barely feel like you're progressing with your build and like what you're trying to go for. I don't know what those bouncing shots are. I don't think they're me. Probably are the enemies in some way, shape, or form. Because I've seen what most of my other abilities are, I think. I thought. I might lose here just due to the fact that the enemies are able to kind of just mob me and do damage. and I'm too slow to avoid that. Faster overheat reduction. Okay, I'm gonna swap these. Okay, so it definitely seems like the on-kill effects are doing the trick. Let's see, but yeah, as far as this one's like level rating goes, we're almost 15 minutes in and I'm level 42, which is an extremely fast pace for leveling, and it feels nice. It feels like I've really progressed over the course of this run. I mean, you guys were here when we started. I was garbage. I could barely survive. All right. So insight gain 20, danger level 0. So that means I can do another. So let's take a look. So for starters, we can bump this up. New enemies appears. Boss will appear. So that's a thing to keep in mind. We also have upgrades. Let's see. Dash stamina regenerates faster. Damage. Let's see. Potions healed more per upgrade. I might want to put one in those. Regenerate more mana per second. Tempting. More mana per upgrade. More damage. More elemental affliction. More crit chance, more knockback, stun power, dice per upgrade, insight per upgrade in survivor mode, or experience. This is actually kind of rude. But let's go for the boots, just a little bit of movement speed. Elemental affliction, and then just a little bit more mana. It actually seems like there's a fair bit to this. What else do we have here? Recall tutorial. No thank you. Oh, we get to pick a different start. Increase crit chance and crit provides... Ooh, increase crit chance and crit hit provides mana to a random disc. That's potentially really good. All spells are stacked instead. On pressing spell button, cast the stacked spells. Oh boy. Spectral object collects gems for you. Heal 10 on level up. Oh, increase movement speed. Moving provides mana to all disc. Decreased max health. Increase dash stamina and stamina recovery. Mana to all discs on dash. Dealing stun and knockback gain a charge. Fire burns faster. All elemental type is considered as fire type. Oh boy. Cold status on enemy reduces overheat of a random disc. That actually could be really good. I think I only get one of these though, which is kind of a downer. Well, do we want to just go fast? Nah, let's go crit. That seems like it has the biggest potential bonus. So what is my spell right now? It's a big fireball. We also have Chilling Pike Chain. It's kind of good. Or Thunder Punch. Well, we did... Okay, so that's Cold and Pierce. Yeah, let's try going cold and see what happens. Highest danger level cleared. Interesting. Change destination. So we can go to the desert too. Oh boy, there's so much going on this. This actually might be one of the better like bullet heavens I've ever played. I mean, there's a lot of bullet heavens out there, so it's a little hard to judge, but I do actually really like this trend. Ooh. Increase damage per unequipped items. Increase dash stamina recovery. Or create a hammer with stun and knockback. Let's go for the Wind Eater. Just dash more often. Okay. Increase movement speed. Mana when player spins around. No thank you. Let's skip that. Alright. It's just a much needed maneuverability is probably going to be extremely helpful. Okay. Decreased mana cost. Yeah. I mean, that means I will be able to fire it more often, which is good. Main problem at the moment is just I'm not getting any spell triggers that I like. But maybe it's fine. Because I think I'd rather go for slow burn build up rather than trying to just trying to cobble together something in the meantime. It's not like I'm super weak, and the extra movement speed is going to keep me alive. Okay. So we have Frost Pond or Winter Breath. Neither are Pierce, but we don't need it. 40 mana versus 100 mana. Create a pool of frost that can generate mana 2 discs when stepped on. Oh. I think I need damage, so let's go for the Sweeping Ice Breath. Unfortunately, currently we have no way to trigger it, unless I were to swap out my current spell, and I'm not going to do that. But yeah, the spell programming in general is like wildly underrated. As far as like a gameplay mechanic goes. And while this one doesn't necessarily do too much, generate 714% of stun power of Pierce type. Huh. I don't know how much stun power we do, but it's better than nothing. Let's take a look. What is it? What is its stun power? Okay, so that actually is kind of good. Because yeah, I'm actually noticing it's triggering the Ice Breath a lot. So that just means we need some more Pierce. Increase Elemental Affliction or increase damage. Because yeah, I'm not doing a Lightning status. I think I'm still going to go on. Focus on my starter for now. And yeah, let's just hope that we can find a handful more. Let's see. 28 mana to random disc on trigger, which actually is really good if I can get another good disc to fit this build. I think one of the big issues mostly boils down to the fact that I don't have a whole lot of range. So I have to let enemies get real close to me to hit them. But once I get them there, they melt. They melt fast. Okay, Pierce and Blunt are considered the same types. Yep, we want that. Okay, so the reason why we want that is because this is slash, unfortunately. But that means that Blunt's stun, and I think a lot of Blunt spells are more powerful. I can potentially get it so that a Blunt spell... Ooh, okay. Blunt spells have more stun, which should be able to trigger that a bunch. Only could get another one of those spell triggers. That'd be wild. Guaranteed crit. 16 hails around target. Or chance of duplicating a linked spell. I think I'm going to go for that. I'm kind of desperate, but I'm not that desperate. And yeah, if we can get anything that makes it so my... Ow. I thought I would be able to just run out of range. I guess I can dash really often, so why constrain myself for any reason? Okay, increased attack speed increases movement speed. I think we have to re-roll, though. Sucks a little bit because these are great upgrades and I do want them. Oh, my base crit is 25%. That actually is pretty good. We just need to get one of the spell triggers that... Ow. We just need to get a spell trigger that actually triggers... off of crit. And instead, I'm getting anything but. Actually, that's great. Increased size makes that move wild. Okay, boss isn't dead yet, but it's getting there. Okay, Whirlwind, Freezing Gust. New disc. Generates 6.1% of overheat reduction on discs as mana. What does that even mean? Disc cooling. Well, you know what? That could actually be great. Okay, Fire Affliction. Increased continuous damage. Sparking fire that moves when you dash. No. Spell type damage dealt as mana. Yeah, I think I'm going to grab that too. Okay, so now we've got 2 spells that I can work with. Ow. I thought I was out of range. I think the big one is I need to actually swap out my my main ability. The problem is it's really short range. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's not a big problem. Ooh. Fire and cold mixed projectile. And it's blunt. So that should be great. Okay, so the cactuses hurt you too. I kind of figured as much, but I don't know. Could have given me a fruit or something. Okay, there's a potion. Boy, the desert is harder. I will give it a lot of credit for that. Okay. Increased elemental status duration. Sure. I don't really know if it's necessarily fits the build. Okay, burst of coldness, increased damage. Burst of coldness. But we're looking for blunt. Because, yeah, what is the stun power on this is much higher. Ow. I thought it was out of range, and then it paused, and then I goofed it. Oh, we seem to be living, at least. Yeah, I think it's just the swingy guys are the problem. Oh. Here's a question. Let's swap these. Yep. That was all the difference. We just needed a good projectile. Because the projectile has pierce, so what it does is it spawns all of the other abilities as it travels. Yeah, let's go for that increased size. Oh my god, okay. That's very good. Why did I just take that damage? The problem is I need a cold trigger to really make this work. Cascading ice explosions. Sure. That generates off of overheat, which is maybe not the most useful, but that's fine. Okay, decrease mana cost, so that'll trigger more often, or increase mana production on this one. Both of these are great. I want to say that one. I was gonna go for that health potion, but no. Damn. Alright. Let's restart. Let's try one more time. What do we have now? A slash. Don't like it. Fire Lance, but we've done that. Volt Eagle. That sounds fun. Lightning status regenerates 8 mana for auto spell. Lightning status expires faster. Sure, let's try lightning. I think that's going to be fun. Because as far as I know, the base spell has no overheat. And so if I can get my base spell to auto-generate, oh gosh, it's already going nuts. Okay, well dashing / no. Zap? Yes. 15 mana, create a small lightning zap on target. That's perfect. Also, the lightning status effect stuns enemies. I like that a lot. Increase damage against lightning status enemies. Let's do it. Okay, increased elemental affliction. Nope. As much as I want that. 51 mana when lightning type is created. Okay, so we now have a ping orb that does a lot of damage. Increased damage. Health loss removes all disc overheat. That's interesting. Let's just go make that ping orb generate a whole bunch of lightning. And anything that increases my status effect chance, we take. Let's go for the distance. That's actually a really good one. So other things we want, make the bird cheaper. Because if I can reduce the cost on that bird, we're going to be in a good spot. Health or shield loss gives a damage buff. Chance of duplicating the spell? Sure. One thing I notice is the bird is not the most accurate. It likes to just go wherever. On obtaining a gem, increase the movement speed, increase damage, increase mana production. It's already overheating pretty bad though, so let's maybe not think about that? I don't know. I guess I mostly think the lightning one's probably not going to need that much. Let's keep upgrading that bird. How? Really? Okay, so the answer is some of these enemies will actually... they do a charge forward, and I guess that increases the distance. Yeah, so even if you think you're outside of their attack radius, they will move at you. Chain of Lightning on dash, half-second cooldown is tempting. Extra mana production on this thing. Yeah, I think I have to. Even if all that's going to do is just drastically increase the overheat potential, but that's okay. More damage, more stun power. Let's go for the stun power. Oh, the Volt Eagle has a stun power of 12. That explains some things. But yeah, so unlike the last run, that was extremely limited based on cooldown and whatnot. Okay, lightning, we have 1 pierce. Increased damage on that Volt Eagle. Or generate mana whenever pierce. Oh no, we don't have a single pierce. We've got explosion and slash, so that's not the most useful. I don't know, let's just keep making Volt Eagle extremely powerful. But here, let's try something different. Yeah, I was right. The ping orb is cheaper, so it fires more. Increased elemental affliction. Yep. Yeah, what was its elemental affliction? Doesn't say. But yeah, I'm noticing that we're firing a hell of a lot more birds. Okay, overheat. Tempting. I think we can do better than that, though. Attach slash-type blades to discs. I don't know what a disc is, though. Oh. Damages enemies on contact. Okay, let's try that. Oh, okay. So the ping orb is now just whooshing around. That's really good. 5 seconds, drop a bomb. No, crash lightning. 110 mana, drop a lightning crash on targets. That should be good. Because I think that's also going to trigger my lightning orb even faster. Okay, mana spell, no. Crash lightning, extra, no. Extra crit chance. 45% chance on the ping orb. That should be pretty good. Then stay away from the giant... Oh, what are they called? It's been a while since I played Animal Crossing. Slash type damage as mana, drill, or 12... Every 12 disc activation, the disc also creates an equipped weapon spell. I don't think I have any weapons, but it's so hard for me to tell. Otherwise, we have slash damage disc, which is both the bird and the orb, so I think we go for that. Let's see, 90% increased stun power. Yeah, I want to upgrade the zap orb just because. Let's see, there's a disc. Let's see. Spells mana cost. Oh wait, generates 25% of weapon spell. The problem is, I don't know which of these are weapon spell. Unless the weapon spell is my basic starter spell, maybe. Void gems imbued with lightning. Or I'm just going to go for that, even if we currently don't have a spell attached to it. Let's see, increased mana production. Nah, reduce cost on that eagle. Ow. But it's okay, we've got mucho potions around. Man, 18% chance of just duplicating it? Yeah. Ow. I mean, that one's just my fault. It's almost kind of pleasant watching these things just explode into nothingness to just kind of nice piano going on in the background. Okay, increased damage. Yup. Bounce orb. Absolutely wrecks. If only I could get a second one of those. Okay, because yeah, if I could have 2 bounce orbs going around non-stop, it would be obscene. Let's go for Volt Eagle. What is its elemental affliction? 40%. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, compared to the last round, this was a triumph. Oh, I'll have to mess around with like mixed element builds at some point because I know they would probably be better. Okay, lightning that chases the target. Sure, that seems pretty good. And oh, it's firing non-stop. Wait, because it's also a bounce orb. Okay, provide constant mana to all equipped discs. Kind of don't really need it. Like, the only one that really needs it is the boot. It's the boot. Okay. More mana production. Yes. It isn't busted. It's hell already. I got to imagine the overheat probably is limiting in what it can do, but it still seems to be doing plenty of damage. So I can't imagine it's completely worthless. Or that it's like holding me back that bad. Why on this one? Because the boots upgrade is interesting, but it's the only one that is not overheating. I think I'm going to re-roll, see what I can do. See, I don't think I've seen the boots have overheat, period. And so it's like, yes, reduce their overheat. And it's like, it doesn't do anything. That's a cute boss. Sand Slash got a bit of a downgrade. Got mixed in with just kind of weird dinosaur. I don't know. I shouldn't, Okay. Generate 204% of damage dealt over enemy. Yep. The Reaper discs trigger constantly. So in that case, swap those. Yep. Time to start doing lightning crash all the time now. Okay. Mana to a random disc or increased crit chance. Both of these are extremely tempting. I don't think we need the mana to another disc. We are kind of disced out. Ooh, shoot a lightning laser. Increase damage to enemies with less than half health. Eh. Bolt impacts. Sure. Can't use it at the moment. But I'll use it later. Oh, do we have a... We have a third bounce orb now. Is it based on the color of the disc? Or the... How do you determine which of these discs, disc slash lightning slash... How do you determine which ones bounce and which ones just stick with you? Or... Oh... It's not that at all. It's the disc moves when they cast, and so if they don't cast often, it sticks with you. However, if they're casting constantly, they're bouncing around. It's not that the bounce orbs at all are just bouncing from enemy to enemy for the most part. It's just, it's moving to where it triggers. Oh, that's fascinating. Let's probably go for the Elemental Affliction. We don't really need more mana except for the walking upgrade. All the other ones are overheating. So I'm assuming more mana production doesn't really do much. Maybe. I'm sure it's in the tutorial that I skipped. Okay. Increase mana production, decrease mana cost, or we could go for the deer helmet. I don't think I've gotten extra attack speed. Or move speed. Pierce and blunt are considered the same thing. Eh. Yeah, unlike the last build that was kind of hamstrung by the fact that I had a close range attack, this one's all range, and boy, it melts. We don't have any big AoEs, but it doesn't matter that much. Okay, for every 4 enemies/minions killed, create a weapon spell. Yeah, let's go for Necronomicon. I still don't quite know what weapon spell does exactly. Let's see, but that's fine. Ooh. 45% increased damage. Feeling good. Yeah, we can just march our way through. Most enemies at this point, they melt before they can actually hurt me. It looks like the Necronomicon is triggering often, so we clearly are doing a weapon spell, unless this is the weapon spell. New disc. Oh gosh. Lightning Affliction as mana when they die. Sure. I could get another spell. And this one doesn't have to be at all elemental focused. It could be anything. Oh, I guess one thing I can do. Whoop. There we go. Okay, player dashes, generate mana to all discs, or fire a lightning type laser. Yeah, it's fun. We still got some time left. But yeah, I've got 6 spells going. One of them doesn't trigger as much. Did I walk into a cactus? I did. The problem is at this point nothing threatens me, so I'm just wandering around grabbing experience. Hoping to find a disc maybe, but like we have a ton of stun, we do a ton of damage. Whirlwind at dash. Increased number of spell projectiles only applied to spells with multiple projectiles. Or faster overheat protection. Unfortunately, I literally do not know which one that is. That's this one. It's probably fine. Because yeah, the faster the overheat, hopefully the faster it fires. Or maybe it's something with damage, I don't know. Yeah, I wonder if the weapon spell is my increased crit chance. But we're kind of maxed on these. Let's reroll, see if I get anything better. Increased mana production. I'm assuming weapon spell's got to be the one on my left, whereas the other ones are spell disc, therefore spell. Magnet. Yes. Give them sweet levels. Piercing continuous? Nah. Increase elemental affliction. Increase movement speed. We do want that. Doesn't actually really feel like it makes a difference here, but it probably does. It is just fun watching things explode to this degree. It very much reminds me of, I want to say, kind of like when I first started messing around with rune tracers in Vampire Survivors, which I think is kind of the goal with this one. Let's see, increase mana production, decrease mana cost. Let's go for the decreased mana cost. Ow. Because yeah, once you get enough of those like big bouncy moves in Vampire Survivors, it's kind of fun watching it just like go around. It's mesmerizing. I was just hoping I could potentially get more of the bouncy things. The other problem is I actually do have some trouble spotting where my actual attacks are, because the bouncing spell triggers, spell discs, are a little distracting. I'm very glad I gave them that slash effect. I don't know how much damage that's going to do, And I'd love to be able to check. Like, that's the one thing this game does not have that I've seen so far. And maybe it'll pop up at the end of the run. I'll have to double check that one. But yeah, I didn't see anything for DPS meters, and I would love to be able to see that. You know, of these spells, which is the most powerful? And is that disc slash ability actually good? Oh, there's a boss. Hello, Big Jim. I'm just gonna hang out next to you and watch you melt. Farewell. Okay. New disc. Yerp. Alright, now all of my spells are just going to be triggering nonstop. Let's go, boys. It's just disc again. If we can get anything that gives me cooldown, I will have to try the gold build again with this kind of setup, because I could actually see that working. So we want duplication. Because I know there was the cold perk that makes it so, like, cold status effects or cold damage or whatever reduces overheat. And so you could potentially have, like, something that fires even faster if you're doing a lot of cold status damage, which seems like something to aspire towards. So goddamn busted. Like, it's hard to tell what's going on just because there is a lot going on the screen, but just, like, most enemies don't even get an attack off. The most dangerous thing here are the, like, cactuars and the very occasional, let's keep going for the chance to duplicate a spell. The very occasional cactus. Or like a projectile, maybe. I do get hit by those. But, like, most of these enemies are cooked before they can even look at me. I will say I was kind of hoping a lot of the upgrades would get a little bit more interesting. Kind of with the rarity system, you do get better effects, but I was kind of hoping there would be, like, a bonus projectile, like, what if it fired 2 birds? Well, no, I guess that is the duplicate. You know, the chance to duplicate spell. I don't know. I was also expecting there would be a little bit more spell linkage. Like, you link one spell to other spells to trigger off of other spells, but it seems like it's almost more practical to just go for a, you know, find a universal trigger that fits your build and then go ham with it. This is where I wish I had the DPS meters, because which of these is better? I truly do not know in this circumstance. I'm gonna go for that one. Because I think it fires a little bit more often, but it's impossible for me to tell. Ow. Alright, minute left. I think we're doing great. And the problem is, this is actually solid enough that I'd actually have some trouble playing the regular roguelike mode. In that one, you're in, like, much smaller environments, which I guess is good, and maybe you don't get as ridiculous, which, in my opinion, maybe a little less good. I like getting silly. Fire status triggers, reduce lightning and cold resistance, Increase crit chance or just increase damage. I think the other problem is, to some degree, I've gone maybe a little too wide. And a lot of my spells are still just baseline quality. I don't know how much that matters, though. Because, like, ow. I guess the main thing is most enemies melt before they ever even get the chance to touch me, so it's kind of easy to just be like, whatever. Lightning affliction nearby enemies. Tempting. I think I'm actually going to go for this. I'm assuming I'm mostly limited by... Oh, yeah. You can see when these are triggering their spells. I think certain areas will just explode. And nice and easy. Cool. Yeah, I got up to level 46. That means roughly 3 levels per... Oh, shit. No, there was no DPS meter, was there? I just completely blanked on checking. And we did also get more juice, which is good. Ow. Why is refunding it so expensive? Knockback, stun power, insight. I mean, tacky as it is, does kind of seem practical to get 20% more insight per upgrade. Because that just means more meta progression every time. So what else do we have? Obtain more than 50 spells. Significantly increased potion drop rate. Potion gives a random effect. Huh. Yeah, some of these are new. This one is. You and your spells are smaller. Increase mana gain. Oh, but I'm not smaller here. That's a shame. But yeah, I want to try a run at some point with Cryomancer. Cold status on enemy reduces overheat on a random disc. But if you go all cold, what would happen? Oh, we can also switch our outfits, but I think we need to find these. Maybe? Or not. I don't know if we've unlocked these. Oh, yeah, Architect. But I'm pretty sure it's going to kick me out and say, no, you can't do this. Maybe I can. There were some, like, gold horns earlier. Or just the horns. Okay, what is auto weapon spell? Oh. Oh, these are the different weapons that I could have. Oh. Complete the main game with this weapon equipped. Okay, so I guess I can't do that. Shame. Anyway, I think with all this said, this is a great stopping point, at least for now. I had a very good time with this, and I'm looking forward to playing more. I don't know when it's going to happen, just because, you know, busy, but, like, suffice to say, this is probably going to be a game I load up randomly from every once in a while to just do an episode or two. Or who knows, maybe we'll do, like, a couple episodes in short sequence. We'll see. But for now, at least, I guess Spell Disc is available on Steam right now, so if you want to pick it up and play it yourselves, I think it's even on sale. I'm assuming it's only like a 30% off. So 15 down to 10.50 as part of the Steam winter sale. So like if you like interesting roguelikes with fun build crafting, or roguelikes with an actual substantive survivors mode, this one's pretty much one of the best I think I've ever played. And that says a lot. I play a lot of these. I'm curious what Architect Chamber is. I think you might be able to, like, DIY your own dungeon. I don't know if I really care too deeply about any of that. Yeah, look at all this stuff that I haven't even touched yet. Like, I don't even... Oh, boy. It just keeps going, and these are just a fraction of the enemies. I don't know how many zones there are in the Survivors mode, too. But, anyway. I guess if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like. It helps more than you know. And if you want to see more rad new games every single day, then hit subscribe because I got tons to check out and show off. But for now, have yourselves a Merry Christmas if it's still Christmas for you. I'll see you next time.